Welcome to episode 741 of Hard Factor. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. It is Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. I'm Will. We got Wes, Mark, Pat. Full house today. We're talking some politics, sports, and entertainment in the cup of coffee. Wes is going to tell us about FODA, a new thing. Mark's got a jetpack guy, I think. And Pat is taking us around the world. But I think we might have two people talking about geese today. Do we have two people talking about geese today? Upside down flying geese?
I am.
Yep. Yeah, we do. That's what I thought. The two guys who are planning to talk about geese today had a bit of a rough road to the show. So we're gonna have to draw straws. Maybe you guys want to talk about, the things you encountered on the way to the show.
Who else is talking about it?
Is geese a local story or a TikTok story?
It's an international story.
Oh, it's an international story.
Oh, is it? Oh, I
down there.
I need that box.
I put geese in the news notes before the other geese. Was
I also texted. I was like,
Yeah.
I think there's double goose.
Yeah.
I saw it and I just let it play out.
I put that in the show notes too, but I can easily cut it, so take it back.
Whose story is the goose story?
It's a Netherlands story.
Okay.
If you look in the notes, geese was definitely yellow, put in by me first, but it's all good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, just wanted to make sure.
It's just a fact, but I didn't know it was international. Pat, take it. No problem. There's
Lots of
also a problem
content.
with the boxes where Wes fucked up the boxes. And then I complained about it. And he goes, I never complain about things. He's just very passive.
No, I didn't say that. I just said nowhere near as much
He's
as
just very
you.
passive aggressive about stuff.
Well, I didn't say it. I just don't complain nowhere near as much as you. And that's
all right,
fact.
let's get
And
into it.
this is on top of the bathroom troubles that the two goose men had on the way.
Both
to the
of
show.
us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Laid
Both
some
of you
geese
guys.
shits.
Yeah. What's going on, guys, in the bathrooms?
I don't
Everything
wanna
okay?
I don't want to talk about the bathrooms.
Just having a hard time over here.
All right. Okay. Well,
Mark,
Look, there might be
I
some
also hate to
eel.
tell you, Mark, looking back at the tail of the tape, I added the geese story at 8:29 p.m. You added it at 8:30 p.m.
8:29 p.m. That's impossible because I did the show notes.
Or
You weren't in the-
7:30. I mean, you can
Yeah.
look at that's a Google Doc. The great part about it is it has
Ooh.
literally
my
every
God.
change.
audit trail. So
Adjust-
Oh my God,
Wow.
Pat, you literally weren't in the show notes yet.
Wow.
I mean, you could, unless I somehow hacked the code at Google.
You might need to refresh. Is the thing. So your minute
Well-
refresh was probably off. Yeah.
I think the moral of the story here is that since it's international, it's going to be in the TikTok international
Correct.
moment.
And I gave that away. No problems. Cut it. No problems. Needed.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Look at that.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting shit for that. I didn't even put up a fight for that. Yeah.
It's cool.
All right.
Remember to download the Green Room app by Spotify. We're doing What the Fuck Wednesdays over there at 5 p.m. Eastern. Bring your craziest story, or maybe we'll switch a topic this week, but for now, craziest story, and for a chance to win a t-shirt every Wednesday. Pretty fun live show over there on Green Room.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else, fellas? Anything else before we hop in there?
Any other dirty laundry?
Yeah. Want to hear any more grievances?
Yeah.
No, I thought that was. I knew we had the double goose, so I knew that would be a great combo.
You're sitting on that. You were sitting on a golden egg like a goose.
I knew that might happen, and I just kind of let it happen. I gotta admit.
Nope.
All right,
Doesn't even make a dent. I'm ready to go.
It's good.
let's do it. Time for a cup of coffee in the big time.
Yeah, cup of coffee in the big time.
We're talking holidays, history, and trending news. It is Airplane Crop Duster Day on August 3rd. It's also Black Women's Equal Pay Day, Clean Your Floors Day, Esther Day, Grab Some Nuts Day, National Night Out, which is the first Tuesday in August, and National Watermelon Day. So, any
Grab
any
your
guys?
nuts day.
Yeah, grab
Some nuts.
Grab some nuts.
Okay.
So
It's kind of a weak. That's kind of a weak lineup.
yeah, Watermelon Day pretty good. Grab Some Nuts Day pretty aggressive.
Crop dusters, they need a day, huh?
I guess so.
It's like an
That's a
awareness.
profession, isn't it?
It's like awareness thing. Yeah.
What's
They're
Esther Day?
replacing all that with drones now. It's probably huh?
Esther Day, huh?
Oh, good call, Wes. I didn't think about that. I didn't think that they were getting infringed upon,
No, they're definitely getting infringed.
taken out
Crop
by
dusters?
the robots.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good point. Actually, we're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. So today in history, August 3rd, in 1492, what happened, fellas?
Columbus sailed that ocean blue.
You're damn right, Pat. He took off from Spain in search of the New World, which he did discover. And then in 1583, on August 3rd, Sir Humphrey Gilbert claimed Newfoundland for the Queen of England. In 1921, 8 White Sox players were banned from baseball for life for intentionally tanking the 1919 World Series.
They call them the Black Sox.
The Black Sox, those 8 guys? Oh,
Yeah.
Pretty good story. Joe Jackson.
Yep. I believe Shoeless Joe was on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they tanked it and they got caught. In 1936, Jesse Owens won the first of 4 gold medals in Hitler's face at the Berlin Olympics.
He JO'd in Hitler's face.
He did. PR'd a bunch of times in Hitler's face. In 1958, the U.S. atomic sub, the Nautilus, passed beneath the frozen North Pole for the first time ever. First time any sub ever did that. Pretty cool. And then finally, in 1984, Mary Lou Retton became the first American gymnast to win a gold medal. Period. Any gymnast to win a gold medal in Los Angeles.
No, she doesn't have her period, Will.
Oh, I mean, by now, surely, right?
You'd hope.
Yeah.
No, she did gymnastics all the way through menopause.
There's a finite window for the period, bro. If you miss it,
did Mary Lou get a perfect score? Was she? Didn't she get a perfect score? She was the first American. Maybe I'm wrong.
So. I think you're right.
I don't know. I
thought she was the first to get a perfect score, but that was Kara Lipinski or whatever.
I guess our gymnastics program wasn't that great, like up until like the 80s, because I think she was the first.
Yeah.
It said she was the first gold.
Maybe that's what it was. I thought she was the first like perfect 10, but that was someone else, Kara Lipinski or someone like that, some little Russian.
Tara Lipinski?
No, some little Russian girl. I was like,
yeah, I think Tara Lipinski was a skater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was the Russian girl? Not Nadia Comaneci.
No, maybe it was Nadia. Maybe it was
Nadia
Comaneci.
Comaneci.
Nadia Comaneci might have been the first.
She's the first
perfect
1976 Montreal Romanian athlete.
Did Mary Lou get a perfect 10? Can you Google that?
Yeah, I'm
looking.
All right. Did you find out what Esther Day was? Anybody?
How do you spell
tens on the vault and the floor exercise?
Esther Day.
Mary Lou? So it's Esther, ESTER.
Yeah.
Well, when I type in Esther Day, it goes Easter is. So
yeah, not really well known.
No one knows.
The day which Earl stated she wanted to be about family and love. Esther Day is celebrated.
Wow.
Esther's birthday. Esther Earl, I guess.
I mean, that's really touching.
No idea who the fuck that is. Okay.
It's touching. Did Mary Lou get that 10?
She did. Mary Lou's nickname, according to her Wikipedia, America's sweetheart. It's pretty bold, laying claim to that, saying that you're that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, so many girls have claimed that. I mean, I feel like that's like a what's it, public domain type of claim.
The news gave
America's sweetheart.
The news gave.
I mean, T.I. calls himself the King of Kings, so you can kind of give yourself whatever name you want, really.
It's true. You can say whatever you want. Nobody can take it away. Freedom of speech. All right. Moving on to the trending news. In business, GE, General Electric, did a reverse stock split, bringing their stock value back over $100 a share. I guess you can reverse split. And Square, the cash processing or Visa processing company, is acquiring Australia's Afterpay. Molson Coors is sadly retiring both the Steel Reserve and High Gravity Old English 40 brands.
Oh man.
So RIP to those. Yeah. Lots of good memories, right? Fond memories. Steel Reserve.
Steel Reserve is so disgusting.
A little fuzzy.
I could never finish one of those.
I've never drank a High Gravity OE.
211.
But I've had
yes,
a lot
yes,
of 211.
yes, you have, Will.
I have?
Yeah.
Have the 8% one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's OE 800, then there's the High Gravity. So
we've drank in a ton of High Gravities. Not as many as Steels, but we've drank a ton of High Gravities.
Yeah,
I've
drank the regular Old English, which I think survives. So
the 4 of us probably drank a combined 20,000 40s.
Lots of 40 nights.
Need a koozie for 40s, man.
Yeah,
they
make
have them. They
make
have them.
Bottom third of the 40s, gross.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Yeah, that's why you got to drink them fast. Yeah. Jinx. It's a bad jinx. All right. Moving on to entertainment. Amazon is making a Lord of the Rings series that's going to premiere on September 2nd, 2022. Jonah Hill accepts and loves his own body. Good for Jonah. He got a body love tattoo. Looks like a body glove logo. Kathy Griffin is having surgery for stage 1 lung cancer. And DaBaby, or most likely his publicist, put out a second written-only apology that didn't have any horrific mistakes in it like the first apology. And many were quick to point out that it was actually the bookings that made him do it, because he lost his spots at Day in Vegas, Lollapalooza, Governor's Ball, bunch of other things. So DaBaby in trouble.
Man, that's
But at this point, you know it's not. At this point, you know it's not genuine from DaBaby, no matter what he says. You know what he thinks.
Those are $250,000 beats for him.
Yeah.
Each one of those.
But that's
Each
the
one-
problem.
Wow.
We talked about it, and Wes was right. Like, his publicist was like, why are you the first apology where he's like in bed being like all cocky and not apologizing at all? That's what ruined it for him. Had he released the
Right.
publicist's apology at first, he probably doesn't lose those bookings.
Well, he was like claiming that his gay fans are somehow like,
Are not that gay. They don't have
Right.
sex with a ton of people.
or they're like
and
clean and
they wear
others aren't
condoms
clean.
and
or-
people
yeah.
and other gays are disgusting.
He
but
was
his-
really-
animals.
Yeah.
My gay fans don't go to Arby's, okay?
yeah.
They're Boston Market gays.
It was really more offensive, almost as offensive as the original statement.
It was.
Um,
We know how he feels.
yeah. All right. Moving it over to Capitol Hill in politics. In the U.S. Senate, Lindsey Graham has been infected with COVID-19, but he feels fine because he's vaccinated. Interestingly, he was on West Virginia's Senator's Manchin's boat over the weekend with Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. So, you know, maybe the Senate could see a little bit of spreading there. Speaking of COVID, the Biden administration is doing an influencer campaign to help boost vaccination rates, but you need at least 100,000 followers to get these vax ad bucks. So, fellas, we got some more work to do before we can become federal shills. So,
Damn.
sorry about that. Bad news to break it to you.
Right.
In the House,
Before we can become federal shills, right?
before. I mean, we're just working our way there, so we can then tell you guys to get vaccinated,
We
right?
got to keep Pat away from Tucker Carlson videos.
Is that applicable toward taxes? Oh man, why?
Some people may have been upset.
Oh my God, love my best buddy Tucker,
In the House,
stand-up guy.
in the House, Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy joked he may hit Speaker Nancy Pelosi with the gavel if she has to hand it over to him over the weekend. Like, you know, if the Republicans were to win back the House in 2022. And it trended on Twitter for 2 days straight, to the point that Al Franken also trended because Twitter was saying that McCarthy's joke about hitting Pelosi with the gavel is worse than Franken grabbing that chick's boobs in the picture. So here it is. You guys be the judge. Tennessee reps give Kevin McCarthy like an oversized gavel after his speech. McCarthy invites the 1,400 at Nashville dinner to D.C. when he becomes speaker. He says he wants everyone to see Pelosi hand him the gavel. It'll be hard not to hit her with it, but I will bang it down, he says. And then, like, this guy, you know, a blue check, replies, this disgusting suggestion by GOP leader that he wants to physically assault the Speaker of the House is absolutely disqualifying. This menacing threat of political violence is a disgrace to his office and aligns him with the violent extremists who plotted assassinations. So
yeah, that's obviously insane take. But what is wrong with this guy tweeting that it's going to be hard to not hit her with a gavel?
No, he
That's
said
dumb.
it.
he said it.
Oh,
he didn't tweet. He
He
said
said-
it in
oh,
a speech. Like,
why would he say that?
Because
He
it's
was
how
joking.
boomers joke.
It's a joke.
It's
Yeah, it's a
how
joke.
the
Yeah, but-
boomers
but
joke.
it's a joke.
It's not an
Here-
appropriate joke.
It's a fine joke.
Is it?
Here's Al Franken grabbing the boobs.
He's
he
air
had to
touching.
he had to retire after that.
Yeah, that one's funny too, but also very inappropriate. Like, what
It's
was
all
he thinking?
both
You're,
just jokes.
you're a politician.
It's all tone though. Like if he said it like
True.
when she hands me the gavel, gonna be hard to not hit her with it. And if he was
Wanna
like
knock
also
out
kind of
those dentures.
It was
pulling
like, it
out
was like an
off
oversized
stage.
gavel.
All right. I don't know. I think it was a pretty stupid thing to say.
Whatever. It's hilarious. It trended for 2 days on Twitter because who gives a fuck? And in the executive branch, a drone video from a border crossing in Mission, Texas. I'm going to play it for you guys. There's no audio. We can talk over it. This video being published got ImpeachBiden to trend on Twitter for the first time during his presidency. It's just a ton of illegal immigrants waiting under a bridge to cross into the U.S. And of course, like the folks on the left, got mad on Twitter that impeach Biden trended, so they tweeted about impeach Biden even more, making it trend even harder. But I don't care about any of that. I think it just like it's pointing towards like Trump versus Biden Harris 2.0, because that's like that whole argument. The impeach Biden crowd, and then like the Biden people are coming back saying you just want Trump back. It's all like Trump Biden like hype basically. And is that where we're headed? Is that what this means? These type of trends?
Not, but that line looked like it was about the same length as the C attendant line at the Newark airport for Spirit. A lot of people missed their flight Sunday afternoon.
Oh, I've got a Spirit more.
It's about the same length.
It's a big ass line, like thousands of people.
I know why that might be happening, Mark. I'll be able to tell you a little more later about why.
Beautiful.
That line might have been so long. Yeah.
Nice.
There was 1,000 people in the C attendant line.
What do you guys think, though? Do you think this kind of stuff, like the impeach Biden trend, people
I
wanting Trump back?
I would hope that by 2022, late 2022, before they start the 2023, primaries, that people are over both Biden and Trump by then. That's what I hope.
Man, I don't know.
Dude,
I don't want to see either of those guys as front runners for the next.
I think
one.
we're looking at a 2.0 here.
It's people loitering at the border no matter who's the president. That's the great thing about America. Everyone wants in.
Yeah, everybody. It's also, Pat, a great time to be an ICE contractor right now, because they are getting the green light to go round up all the illegals at the same time. So
Or like
they're coming in, getting rounded up. Boom, ICE contractor. Good time.
Water salesman. I don't know how much money those people
Yeah,
have.
it's a thing.
Probably sell some water.
They're gonna up the deportations for sure.
ICE mercenaries?
No, as in like ICE.
No, just
like,
ICE employees.
ICE
funding.
employees.
Oh, they're not. They're employees, not contractors.
Well, but they
Well,
put out contracts
yeah.
to do work, to go round people up.
You know what he meant. To work for. If you're working for ICE, you're in business.
No, I
good
get
time.
that.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of
Yeah.
deportations coming up.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch it over to sports. In the Olympics, a Belarusian sprinter, Kristina Timanaskiavsko. No, I can't say it. Christina T defected to Poland on a humanitarian visa when leaving the Olympics on Monday. She was being forced to go home after criticizing her coaches and feared arrest and torture, obviously, because Lukashenko is still the president in Belarus, despite endless protests and accusations of election rigging. He was demanding her to come home after criticizing her coaches, and she was like, nope, going to go to Poland. And so
To hear more on that one, patreon.com/hard factor. High hour today. We went in depth on that one.
Nice. Love it. Laurel Hubbard, you guys probably talked about this too. A trans female athlete from New Zealand failed to finish the opening round of her event in heavyweight powerlifting, to the chagrin of bettors everywhere, most likely. Couldn't lock out the snatch. That was the term. And the U.S., she couldn't lock out that snatch, fellas.
Snatch. Get it?
Yeah.
She didn't have the snatch.
She didn't have a snatch.
She didn't have it. She didn't have it. And in the U.S. Women's national team news for the USA, they lost to Canada in the semifinal. They're the first American soccer team to lose to Canada in 20 years, period. They will play Australia for bronze next. The Chinese are now up on the Americans in the medal count, and the golds 29-22 as of time of recording. Going to be pretty hard to close that gap.
When it comes to women's soccer, it looks like there's going to be no more Megan Rapinoe. Shit.
It's either Rapinoe or Rapinoe.
No, I mean, when it comes to U.S. women's soccer, Subway commercials, looks like there's going to be Megan. Fuck. No, Rapinoe, no more Subway commercials starring Megan Rapinoe.
Wow.
There you go.
That was worth the delay.
Repeat none of those. Repeat none of that. All right, moving on to the last sports news, NFL/sports news. Hey, training camp's back. It feels good. But you wouldn't know it. Actually, you would know it's football season because Carson Wentz, he's hurt already, even though it's just like day 3 of training camp. He's now playing for the Colts. He's hurt again. He's going to have surgery on his foot. He's going to be out up to 12 weeks. So, Carson Wentz. Mark, any thoughts as an Eagles fan?
No comment.
Okay, yeah.
Apparently, Big Dick Nick's like, yeah, get me in there, man. I want to back him up.
Yeah, well, it's a starter job now. So
they got the offensive coordinator the Eagles had, or the quarterback coach, whatever, Frank Reich or whatever.
Frank Reich, yeah, it's the
I mean, yeah, no, good luck, Indy.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody who was thinking Carson Wentz was overvalued feels very vindicated by this news. Technically, college news. South Lake Carroll High School quarterback Quinn Ewers is going to Ohio State a year early to cash in on image and likeness royalties as soon as he can. He's considered the best recruit in either 2021 or 2022 high school classes. So high school kid trending. Also technically college football, but Pat may have put the gree on Miles Brennan when he mocked the size of his Twitter account, because now Miles needs surgery on his left arm, opening the door for Max Johnson to seal the starting job for LSU QB during camp. So.
And what I was saying there, guys, by the way, is this. He's going to have a difficult time monetizing a Twitter following smaller than mine. I specifically know that because I know it's hard to monetize mine. That's what I was saying. He's going to have a tough run of it.
I think you may have gotten his head and then he was distracted. He hurt himself.
It's definitely not to talk about yourself. Or that wasn't the point.
That was your take on it,
Not to
Mark.
compare the size of accounts.
That was your take on it, Mark.
Mhm.
You have a slant towards me. There's going to be repeating no more Subway commercials for Megan.
There you go.
There
Nailed
it
it.
is. There it is. Reports are that the Buffalo Bills are looking at Austin, Texas as a backup city. It's a threat similar how to the Rams used LA on St. Louis when they wanted a new stadium
chance.
paid for. Right. The Bills contract with Buffalo Stadium is up in 2023. So I think it's just a threat, but that'd be crazy. That would be crazy. I think it's no chance, probably. Finally, Nick Bosa's girlfriend got caught being racist in old tweets. Dwight Howard's going back to the Lakers, and tons of other NBA moves you should look up if you're interested this morning. And there's a great video going around social media of a dude hitting a hookah and then driving to the rack in a New York City basketball game. They're calling him Hookah Doncic. And that's today's cup of coffee in the Big Ten.
Spell that, man.
That's an awesome nickname.
Yeah. It's like Luka Doncic, except,
Yeah.
hookah.
That's good.
Just sub it out.
What did the girlfriend say? Anything crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Nick
No.
Bosa's?
Oh, yeah. It's bad. She said, man, I swear I'm an N-word magnet. She tweeted that.
Ooh.
Back in the
Wow,
day.
yeah,
And then apparently some other stuff.
Okay.
That one's good enough.
Yep, that one's fine.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a racist tweet. Definitely qualifies that. Yeah.
She felt good about that tweet when she put her phone on. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
It was in 2013, and I'm sure we'll see what she says. She's been caught.
2013. That's
Yeah.
close enough to when you were allowed to use that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This next story doesn't pertain to anyone in this show, as we are all spoken for, but you single guys and gals out there need to listen up. There's a new dating trend that is affecting a lot of you, and you may take solace in knowing you are not alone in experiencing what experts are calling a pandemic-created phobia called FODA. Yes, FODA, which stands for fear of dating again, and then they add during pandemic times. So fear of dating again. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. This is it's a new thing. Yeah.
This is where we're talking about how people aren't having sex anymore. Like this kind of falls into that a little bit.
It's even worse. It's even more pathetic.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. So FODA, much like FOMO or fear of missing out, is a real phobia, quote unquote, brought upon by the pandemic and people being so out of the game, basically. So according to a recent study from the dating site Hinge, more than half of the app's users have been stricken by this new phobia. That's right. Half of the people are just too scared to get back out there. Another study on the Singles of America website, which is powered by the folks at Match, found that 38% of singles are, quote, nervous about their social skills when it comes to dating again in real life. So, yeah, that's you guys. What do you guys think about that? There's a guy.
So 38% of singles report having this FODA, where they
FODA,
don't
yes.
even want to attempt to talk to people.
Yes. Listen, what it is basically is that everyone's out of practice. So Rachel DeAlto, who is the chief dating expert at Match, blames the phobia on the simple fact that saying anytime that you don't feel like you are in practice of something, there is anxiousness about it. I think there's a lot of people expressing that concern of, oh, I forget how to do this.
Right, but Wes, are they like not even chatting, or are they just
no? They're
like,
chatting online. Look, a lot of this is also just people like are now
They
getting
won't meet
more and
up.
more used. Yeah, they won't meet up. They're getting more.
Yeah.
They're real Don Juans on the keyboard, and then when it gets time to maybe meet up for a drink, they are nervous and they don't really have the same confidence.
You know what happened?
Yeah.
The
You don't
sex
think
dolls
that has anything to do with it?
Sex dolls got too good.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they
think this-
started spending their sexual cash in their heads, and now it's just too overwhelming for the real thing to not live up to how they thought it was going to be when they got out of the pandemic. They're like,
I think
when I get out of this pandemic, I'm just going to be slamming this and slamming that.
I
think
told
the
myself
sex-
I was going to be in better shape, and that didn't happen.
I think
then,
that you're not even
no,
attempting it. I think the sex dolls got too good because here's the thing. The thing if you're out of practice riding a bike, though, like it's just like riding a bike, and when you get on the bike, if the end of that is it's wet pussy, then you're going to get back on the bike. So I think that there's what's replacing the wanting to get to the actual bike ride, the fact that you already can do it at home.
Gross
with the
bike.
you're saying, but like, so you're saying the sex dolls are just that good?
Yes.
You're sa-
There's
No
no
one has a sex
chance.
doll.
Fuck bullshit. All these single dudes have sex dolls, and apparently they're fantastic.
You think so?
Yes.
No.
Man,
I know
I
so.
don't know anybody with a sex doll. Of course, you wouldn't know
Well,
if you knew anybody with a sex doll.
How many single
wouldn't
guys
tell
that
you.
refuse to go out do you hang out with, Will?
Yeah.
What are the sex doll sales? Can we look those up? Are those
Yes,
publicly reported?
we probably could. Yes,
Okay,
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
I've imagined they're astronomical.
Oh, I'm on
Yeah.
tinysexdolls.com right now. We got a
Tiny
lot of
sex
soul-
dolls.
A lot of
sex
sold
doll.
outs, huh?
Jesus.
Got a mini sex doll.
That's just a watch
New York
list.
Times says expectedly booming.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sex doll sales are booming. Oh wow.
Sellers of sex toys
As FODA
capitalize on
rises-
all that alone
Yeah.
time.
That's
Yep.
right.
Oh man, there was a big spike.
Women are in trouble. Other women who use the dating sites have admitted they are leaving a lot of dudes hanging who have swiped on them on these dating sites because of FODA. And many women claim they are so out of touch with this dating scene that they have no clue if they're even being hit on anymore. And I don't know how out of touch a woman can be, but if they don't know that 99% of the time, if a single man goes out of his way to talk to you and your signal, that means he wants to fuck you. You're pretty out of touch. These are skills that many women claim were never a problem before the pandemic. And it seems the pandemic has rotted their brains and they have forgotten what pigs we all are.
Come on.
What's also playing into this new trend is that many people, women in particular, it seems from the article, are discriminating against men who are not vaccinated, and they don't want to date any dirty super spreaders, but they will fuck Tony, who has fucked over 2,000 women, as long as he's got his vax records. So
Yeah.
this whole thing is really
Tony
stupid.
from accounting.
Yeah, Tony from account. I mean, this whole thing is really stupid, right? I mean, it's been a long time since people actually dated. Like I think internet dating is making the face-to-face stuff a little bit more, not natural and a little bit more nerve-wracking. And then experts are saying that if you want to get back into it, start off easy, go on like a, meet up for a coffee. Don't dive into like a full-on date.
Don't go straight to the orgy.
Right.
Don't go to somebody's house. Yeah, just meet in public. But I guess a lot of people are like probably even scared to do that right now, right? Some people
Yeah.
are like,
It's
Yeah,
it's
I feel like it should be the opposite. You've been cooped up for 16
Right.
months. You should be slamming everything that walks if you're single. Doesn't make much sense to me.
I mean, they
Yeah.
said there was like a 30% bump overall in sex toy sales during the pandemic, but I don't think it's enough. I think people just need to get off the couch.
Who's buying this thing?
Oh, God.
no. What
site are you
man?
on, Pat?
Come
What the
on, man.
fuck
Get
is
that off
that,
the,
dude?
the screen,
Jesus.
dude.
That's got to be illegal, right?
tinysexdoll.com.
That's
Come
got to
on.
be illegal.
Why did you
right?
go to
Come on.
What the fuck?
tinysexdoll.com?
What are you doing?
I just Googled sex doll sales and tiny.
That was the first site that
No,
popped
that
up?
wasn't the first one. That was in your history.
Come on.
Who's number one?
Oh, no.
What was
What was it?
No.
Google sex doll sales. See if you see the same thing. These guys are really good at SEO.
I'm not gonna do it on my computer.
Oh my God.
No, not on your,
Google-
you're not on your
Google
pristine
prioritizing?
machine, Wesley.
No, not that kind of shit. Jesus,
He needs to be on Mozilla.
you're on a list for sure now.
Yeah. You got to get into the Mozilla dark mode.
Oh my God.
It's 100 centimeters.
YouTube.com to see that gem that Pat just flashed on the screen. Holy shit.
I
Or
didn't
you can
invent
just-
it. Okay,
Or you
I
can just
didn't
go
buy
to
it. I'm not fucking it.
tinysexdolls.com, apparently.
But they're not even like tiny women. They're children. That was a
They're
child.
children.
It's a child. Yeah,
But
it's a
also
child.
it's 100 centimeters.
Not safe for work.
Oh my
100
God.
centimeters. Good God.
Okay.
All right. Go
Take
ahead.
it up with
Is
people
that-
at
is that your story?
That's my story.
Okay. All right. So guys, I have a single aviation story for you today.
Okay.
Well,
Good.
It was a double. I had to.
Yeah.
I had to I've got a single aviation story for you since everyone's flying right now during summertime, I read somewhere that Austin Airport did significantly more traffic in July 2021 than it did in July 2019 pre-COVID. So people definitely got out and about. I flew twice from Austin Airport this July, so I contributed to that. First up and only aviation story for me is Jetpack Man is back at LAX. You remember we have covered him before, right? He's the guy where like pilots, and I think maybe a passenger too, but mainly pilots have reported seeing what appears to be a man on a jetpack flying at the height of planes making their descent into Los Angeles Airport.
That's awesome.
He's back this weekend. The FBI is once again investigating the fourth now reported sighting of Jetpack Man this year that came in last week from this weekend from a pilot of a Boeing 747. I think it was like a weird airline, but they radioed into the tower and said a possible jetpack man in sight at 5,000 feet in altitude. And then air traffic controllers alerted all pilots in the area saying, use caution, jetpack guy is back. And then one air traffic controller asked the separate pilot, did you see a UFO? And then the pilot responded, we were looking, but we did not see Iron Man. And then a good laugh was had by all the tin pushers. So they're getting a little cheeky with it at this point.
I wonder, do you think Jetpack Man, is he getting close enough to these planes where he might just get sucked up by one of the engines one day? Or
No, he's a pro. He's a pro.
He's a pro.
Well, what's up with him? How is he? So the FBI is working with the FAA to investigate. Like what are we looking at?
He's
here?
getting his jollies. He's having a good time.
Is it really a guy in a homemade jetpack that's eluded everyone, including the FBI, for several months? Or is it like an elaborate prank by pilots and air traffic controllers at LAX? Or is it a drone? Like only one passenger saw what they think could have maybe been this thing. It's all pilots interacting with air traffic controllers.
Where's the video?
There isn't any. Couldn't this just be a ruse or a drone? I'm starting to think that this is absolute bullshit. That there's no way a human could make a homemade jetpack, get 5,000 plus feet in the air, avoid all these planes at the busiest airport in America or one of the top 5, and they can't find the fucking guy ever. That's
like that's a big area. Like, and if you're flying, you can get away. You can kind of like,
I don't know.
It's hard to track you. You know,
I'm starting to think it's bullshit.
But it's been like, where has it been reported? It's been reported twice now, like all over the place, like in the AP and everything.
Four times at LAX.
4 times.
Damn. Haven't caught him. This is since like March.
I mean, theoretically, if you had a jetpack, though, right? Like, it's the perfect weapon because if you had a plane, they can send the Air Force to track that plane. It has to land at an airport somewhere, right? But Jetpack Man could just drop to whatever altitude and then like. Drop again and walk into a bar, with his jetpack on.
But he has to live very isolated because you land, that thing is loud as fuck.
Right. So it's like whatever guy that lives in the remote town that keeps like getting like really expensive metal.
Well, what if he's super rich and he just has a big ass like location?
He's like
Batman inside the city or like right by the airport or something.
There's probably like 5 people in the area that have gotten the parts shipped to them that require a super jetpack.
Yeah, they could find him.
You could find this guy. That's what I'm saying. If he existed, you could find him.
But maybe it's fun. Maybe it's fun to have a Rocketeer that's having a little shits and giggles with the pilots.
Maybe it's a joke amongst pilots. Yeah, we'll see. And then I have a bunch of jokes about geese that I won't tell you.
You can go
save them.
Go
Save
for
them
it.
for Pat's story. Yeah.
You go for it.
No. I want it to be international because we're killing it in TikTok.
All right, let's kill it down there in the TikTok international moment, guys. Let's take it down under to the home of the larger than average Maori people, New Zealand. Right, Wes? A dark gray brown bean goose was caught by an amateur photographer doing something potentially foul near the town of Arham. The goose was caught starting up on another goose's 6, and when he pulled through the clouds, then he moved in above them. And you might be asking yourself, based on that description, if the goose was directly above the other goose, how could he see him? And that's because the goose, boys, was fully inverted. Yeah, I'm talking I'm talking 4G inverted, dive at 2, at maybe 1.5 meters tops.
Why is it doing that?
Top Gun. Yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
There you go.
Remember what a dick he is to Kelly? What's her name? She's just trying to teach a class, and Maverick's like, she's like, "Well, I'm totally, I have all the top secret clearance." It's like, "Well, apparently you don't, ma'am, because I know a little bit more than you, because I was fully inverted, flipping off a Russian pilot." Kind of a
you're the
yeah.
one.
You
So
got to
you're
have
the one.
confidence to be a Top Gun,
to be a Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, the maneuver's called whiffing, and it's when geese roll their body upside down and then twist their neck and head 180 degrees around to its normal position. And while the photo was taken earlier this year, it's since sparked heated debate as to why geese do this. Photographer Vincent Cornelissen said he got thousands of messages and comments from people from around the world asking for information about the goose flying upside down and why, right? But after consulting with a number of bird experts, it turns out that this maverick goose was simply just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's called whiffling.
Oh,
Yeah.
whiffling, excuse me.
I
Yeah,
think that's the official determination for everything that geese do, Pat.
Right. They're just being geese. Like this, like they do it on the land too. They're just
pissing
bastards.
you off on purpose. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. Lars Soernick, who's a wildlife photographer and conservation science communicator for Bird Protection Netherlands, said in a very surly and forlorn tone, "They do it to brag to their peers. Like, look at me, I'm upside down."
I don't
So,
think
yeah,
that's
just showing off. He could have been different tone when he gave that information. I don't know. All right, guys.
don't-
let's-
Is
They
it because
don't-
he's Dutch? Is
I'm just imagining like him being mad because these geese are being show offs.
This guy
Well-
thinks that geese are bragging. Come on.
No, that's.
I mean, it's like
literally-
it could
they-
be it's
They
show off.
literally
Like,
don't
yeah.
know why. There's three options. They say it's to avoid predators, or it's to show off, or like it's to because they're bored because they've mastered regular flight. Those are the three options.
Showing
none of
off
them's-
and boredom. It
Yeah.
has to be it.
The
Showing off
ego
and
on these
boredom.
geese.
They wrote a book in 1970, a bestseller called Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which is about a dickhead seagull that does all these tricks, and then he gets ostracized by the rest of the group because he's showing off. But then he comes back around and like is their hero at the end. So it's like Top Gun meets Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I think Top Gun just ripped off their script from this book and
Probably.
geese
When's Top Gun 2 coming?
soon.
All right, guys, let's take it on down to Colombia. It's been about 5 years since the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, also known as the Fuerzas Armadas Revolucionarias de Colombia, or the FARC for short, put down their Soviet-made AK-47s and gave up their dreams of achieving a Marxist utopia through guerrilla warfare, kidnapping, and cocaine distribution, and decided to get real jobs. But it wasn't long, guys, before they remembered that they were in Colombia, a country with a terrible economy, which was probably in part why they were able to be a part of one of the longest running guerrilla groups in history, topping out at 52 years. So what now? What are they going to do for money? Well, guerrilla tourism, of course.
Ah,
That's
yes.
right. These guerrillas are putting their years of Revolutionary Army patrol training into guiding tourists through their former crime fields. With the help of a little money from the Norwegian government, for some reason, about 30 former FARC soldiers set up a tourism agency right in the heart of the jungles of Colombia, where less than a decade ago, tourists and their families would be paying them a lot more than $125 for a night's safe passage, as kidnapping was one of their main fundraisers. Activities with these FARC terrorists tour guides include rappelling down cliffs, whitewater rafting, a class on how to take a finger with minimal bleeding, and a class called From Coca to Cash, how to survive Revolutionary Army through the homegrown cocaine trade. It's a lot of over here we took his head off, and over here we took his head off, and
Don't
over
look.
there his head too came off.
Yeah.
I heard they had a nice landmine maze too. I heard
Oh,
they
man, the
had a
landmine
good one
maze.
installed.
It's to die for, Will.
Hey, honey, do you want to go on the FARC tour? It's me and you and 10 guerrilla soldiers. That'll be a bad date. Don't do that.
Or really good. I mean, like,
Yeah.
talk about exhilarating. Somebody's gonna want to fuck after that. If you survive that, if you survive the FARC tour,
Yeah.
you want to fuck afterwards.
Or
yeah.
you better survive the FARC tour, or your lady becomes a FARC
There's no in between.
FARC woman.
Yeah, I mean that's tough, right? Because you're essentially relying on their integrity, right? Because
Right.
literally, just 5 years ago, they were taking people like you and asking their families for money back. And it was just a decade ago, guys, that the FARC outlawed child soldiers.
Yeah, it's just like that guy, that the naked general that like killed all those kids and cannibalized them, and now he's like a man of God and has like a camp for.
We
It's
gotta
like
give second chances, right? Mark?
in Liberia. It's like, come on, yeah. I guess you do.
And weird
Even to
tour.
warlords.
Yeah.
Weird tour. Whitewater rafting with the FARC. Okay, guys, let's take it over to Germany, right? Germany has set a trial for a 100-year-old man who's allegedly a former Nazi guard and is accused of assisting in the murder of prisoners at the Sachsenhausen camp near Berlin between 1942 and 1945, and assisting in executions by firing squad and poisonous gas. And as of right now, the suspect's name is not being released because, well, actually, I don't know why, because he's like 100. So if it turns out he didn't do it, it's not like the bad press is going to mess up his social life for like future opportunities for employment, right? Like, I'm about due process, but I'm thinking if they're hauling a guy into court who was born like a decade before television existed for potentially being a Nazi, either Germany's court system is more fucked up than ours, or the guy's a Nazi, right? Just like, what's his name? Let us know his name.
Isn't it though, like amazing how much better other countries are at keeping this kind of stuff anonymous? Like in the
100%.
U.S., you can't do it. And,
Yeah.
But like all these other countries, like they somehow keep everything completely confidential. It's crazy.
That's why a lot of the Nazis go to those other countries.
Right. But this guy's been hanging out in Germany. And
He's
when a lot of
staying.
people were like, when a lot of people responded to a TikTok International Moment last week about like, what's weird about collecting World War II memorabilia? Again, nothing.
Nazi stuff, right?
Unless
yeah.
you're in
No.
Germany.
Right. The Germans collecting specific Nazi Germany World War II memorabilia is a bit weird.
Right.
We compared it to like
And
we compared it
still
to like
having two different
someone in the
things.
United States collecting like slavery memorabilia. That's just weird.
Right.
I'm
For
all
that,
the red
for that
flag,
particular country and that
Big
World
time
War II,
Confederate collector.
right? Like what World War II memorabilia, great stuff, very cool, very valuable. Nice,
Which you
nice.
know, there's people
Yeah.
though that collect all this shit. Like,
Oh yeah,
for
I think
sure.
some of them comment on our posts.
Pokemon. But yeah, so that guy's he's gonna go to trial in October. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, like,
imagine going to a flea market that's nothing but like Nazi memorabilia and Confederate
You're
memorabilia.
like, okay, gotta switch it to a different gear today.
What kind? The bartering there must be crazy.
Yeah,
that's
His
TikTok
name's-
International.
What's his
of
name's
course.
girlfriend would fit right in there.
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa's girlfriend. Yeah, she's-
Nick Bosa.
whatever his name is. You guys should watch the documentary Devil Next Door. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Pretty good.
documentary. Yeah.
Hey, would it be weird to go to an all Nazi or Confederate flea market? What's
got a
weird
lot of
about that?
But they got a lot of cool stuff there.
It's historical.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years? Like, people have Iron Maidens and shit, which is fucked up, right? Or like people have guillotines. I'm sure.
What's an Iron Maiden? Is that the face mask?
An
Like they
Iron Maiden
crush
is,
their face.
I believe it's like
It's like
a
torture
like
thing,
a
right?
full body case with
Yeah.
spikes.
With spikes in the
Yeah.
face. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think it's the whole body.
No,
Right.
yeah, they
people
twist it and it
collect
comes in.
weird shit.
It's not a
People collect
myth.
weird
They didn't
shit.
really use the Iron Maiden.
Yeah, they had that shit.
They have
No,
that
I know,
shit.
but I don't think they actually killed people with Iron Maidens. I think it's a myth. It's just something.
Well,
that was
what
created
about
after
that
the fact.
Iranian box that they shit in and like put honey in and stuff and like
That's in a boat. They put people
Oh,
tie them
boat,
between
yeah.
boats and they cover you in honey and then you die of. We don't need to get into it, but the bugs
It's
eat you and you
insane,
drown.
yeah.
It's like water. It's
people
constantly
probably
being
collect that
waterboarded.
too. I get it. People collect
What,
crazy stuff.
what
It's
boats?
just-
They collect boats that are.
they probably
have rope-
somebody's got that thing where they
Okay.
they tortured somebody to death.
People collect like skulls in like fucking jars, like tiny
Yeah.
heads.
People
Like
got
people
weird shit.
collect weird shit. Yeah.
It's true.
You'd still freak me out though if you were like,
Good
"Hey,
points.
you want to go to this memorabilia? Want to go to this memorabilia?
People collect
flea
fetuses
market?"
in jars. I mean, it's disgusting.
For
Doesn't mean
science,
you,
Wes.
doesn't mean you
no,
have
no.
to.
People have that shit like not for science. They just like to look at it because it makes them like the most freaky
have-
of all their friends.
People have that in the don't go in that room.
Yeah, exactly. They got a little light underneath of it. It's fucked
There's
up.
asbestos in there.
And you wonder why they have FODA.
Yeah, a lot of photo with those guys. All right, let's move on.
My collecting habit got out of control during
Yeah,
COVID.
I can't have anyone over now. I got all these.
Having my house reclassified as a museum.
Yeah.
The way all this is legal.
Big freaks. All right, got a little PSA for you guys. For those who are thinking about doing some traveling before another lockdown, which is probably going to happen. Don't fly Spirit. Mark, I know you had a nice experience on your flight this past weekend, but it seems you got lucky.
Get the big chairs, the big seats.
Mhm.
If you're going Spirit, baby, big seats.
Yeah.
It's worth
Upgrade.
It,
Yeah.
Well, Mark, those lines that you saw waiting to see the attendant are because over the weekend, Spirit canceled hundreds of flights, leaving thousands of travelers stranded. According to this site, Flight Aware, which looks like this, it tracks all the delays and
Yes,
cancellations.
numero uno.
Yeah. Spirit canceled 165 flights on Sunday, delayed another 341, and on Monday, another 277 flights have been canceled as of 5:30. So that equated to 36% of Spirit's flights on Sunday and Monday.
Wow, I got lucky.
So you had a greater than 1 in 3 chance they're just gonna fuck you this weekend. Airline reps blamed the weather and operational changes, aka the little staff that we do have isn't what you would call top notch.
the spokesperson was like, we're Spirit Airlines.
There's not enough of us, and we're
Yep.
Spirit. Yeah.
Sorry.
That makes
So-
sense. The line was so long, and I kept I kind of talked about it on the Patreon today, but there was the backdrop. There's always like a backdrop and a seat attendant. So I just needed to go to the backdrop, but I was hungover on Sunday morning and I went to the wrong side, the seat attendant line. And it was so long that I wasn't paying attention. I couldn't believe it was continuing to go because it was like 3/4 of the way around the entire airport. So every time there was a big break, because there was like double doors, so they would have like 50-foot breaks in the line. And I thought it would just end and I would get in that part of the line. And someone would come from the other side of the line and call me a piece of shit loser and say, if you got to keep going to the back of the line, you scumbag. And then I overheard a Spirit lady talking to one couple, like 500 people in deep in the line, and they're like, well, we're going to give you a full refund on this flight. You can book a flight with another airline. She goes, this is a Spirit flight. This costs $200. Another flight today is going to cost triple that. And I was like, I should probably, then I got yelled at right afterwards. So I was like, all right, I'll keep going to the back of the line. But luckily I was in the wrong line and I got the bag dropped off.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Spirit Airlines, everybody.
Yeah.
American Air, they were quick to point out that although Spirit was the biggest offender, American Airlines is struggling with staff too. They had like a 15% cancellation on their flight as of 5:30 on Monday. So I have a little theory here, I'm probably wrong, but airlines need cash flow, right? They're just booking these fucking flights knowing damn well they're never going to take off, but they don't give a fuck. They have your money, then they can switch your ass to a flight that makes more sense to them and less costly, all at the cost of your time and your sanity. Like Mark said,
Generally,
Spirit, they know no one's going to go to another airline. They're just going to rebook you on a flight. They're going to pack you in. They know that these flights aren't going to go anywhere, but now they have your cash, and now they can use that cash. It's like a Ponzi scheme almost.
Wouldn't that be illegal if they could prove it?
It would be. I feel like it would be, but I don't know.
I feel like
because you could always just claim like operational, demands. You're like,
Yeah.
oh well, we had to make the change.
Yeah. But I think something shady like that's going on.
36% is a lot of percent.
Yeah.
To cancel
So-
over a weekend, and
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad of weather anywhere.
No. Yeah, they were talking about Orlando had some bad weather or something, but yeah.
Some rain.
36% is a lot. So
That one rain in Orlando really
The rain shower in
set us
Florida
back.
that happens 365 days a year. It rained in Florida.
yeah, no,
You know
it's
what's
just 'cause they have no staff.
The biggest bullshit that they do.
Hmm.
Have you ever booked a round trip flight and then not gotten on the first leg? They automatically cancel the second leg. So like I was
Oh, really?
on a round trip
Oh, yeah,
flight,
yeah,
missed my first leg, scrambled on my own, didn't
yeah.
bother them, booked my own one way, went like it was like a week and a half later, went to go take my flight back. And like, I'm sorry, sir, it's canceled because you didn't show up for your first leg. I'm like, no.
Oh.
But they do shit like that all the time, man.
Yeah.
They will just fuck you.
They just want.
You got to get the app of the airline you're using and like check in and put the thing in your like wallet in your phone because you need to get the updates
Well,
constantly.
I'm a Delta boy now, and except for them destroying my laptop, they're pretty good.
But yeah, be careful because it looks like it's like 20% chance right now.
Well, shit, I was talking Spirit up because the big seats are fantastic. That's a loop.
Yeah.
That's a loophole. Whereas you could get a round trip Spirit airline on their big seats, which are super wide in the front and nice for cheaper than an economy flight on any other airline. So that was a hack I found this weekend. But
That's pretty cool.
But Spirit, I guess, cancels a lot of flights.
I mean, it's bittersweet. You know, life operates in shades of gray, Mark. There's nuance everywhere. I mean,
yeah.
You know.
One man's trash, another man's treasure, right?
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's take it to the last story, guys. A Washington man took the prize of King of the Crazies this week in a landslide. The unnamed man was arrested in Yakima, Washington, for shooting at his refrigerator.
Oh.
God damn it.
Right.
I don't guess he was expecting to have some leftovers and they weren't in there like, where's the Chinese?
Well, I've tried everything I can in terms of traditional repairs.
Yeah, right. Milk's expired.
Fucking fridge.
Gone through the manual twice.
Always letting me down. How fucked up was this guy?
Yeah, probably very. Details are limited, but when police arrived after being called for the gunshots, they found this crazy SOB outside his home in the alleyway, yelling incoherently, with a gun laying in the middle of his street. So he had dropped the gun in the road and was pacing in the alleyway, incoherently screaming. Witnesses came forward and told the police what happened after they hauled the guy away, or like put him in the car because they didn't want the crazy man, the neighbor seeing them talking to the cops probably. And they told the police that the man had been placing soda cans into his fridge and like one exploded. So like one of the soda cans somehow just like popped and made a loud popping noise. I don't know if it was a 2-liter or a can. And when the popping noise went off in the fridge, he started shooting at it uncontrollably because he was scared or spooked.
I saw Ghostbusters one too many times.
He's shooting at the bottom of the fridge.
Tiny sex dolls was in there with a gun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it gets
Gozer was in there.
It gets a lot more bizarre, fellas. You're not far off because when
he's been watching The Indian in the cupboard on repeat.
You're not far off. When asked why he shot the fridge, the man rationally explained that there are people who live in the basement that are trying to kill him. And that no soda can exploded. It was the people in the basement that shot at him first. So he shot back through the bottom of the fridge into the people at the basement. But a quick search of the house showed that there was no one living in the basement because there was no basement to the house at all.
Yep.
So there wasn't any possibility.
They don't know about the basement, okay?
Right.
The cops couldn't find the basement.
Couldn't find it, exactly.
By design.
Yeah,
exactly. He
that's
tried
what
to
the
tell
basement
him.
people want you to think, that there's no basement.
Yeah. So he got hauled away. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I guess it could have been that, it could have been ghosts or an elaborate prank from neighbors that found a faux basement and are fucking with this guy. Yeah, or he could be crazy and on drugs. Is probably the top 3 options.
I am Zool.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. He shot at the fridge and the neighbors were like, no, he's crazy.
Open and shut case, really. I mean,
Yeah.
At least he put the gun down in the middle of the street. He wasn't like threatening other people. He thought he had dealt with business with the basement people, and he was.
I guess he thought he got him.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What would you do in this situation? I suspect you'd act the same way that I acted.
It's also possible that this story is completely fabricated just because it's so insane and there aren't many details. But
Both of your stories are got a little. Are they real or are they not?
Well, the Jetpack Man is real in terms of the police. The pilots reporting in the FBI. This one I think might just be like a meme story, but it's been reported by all the local papers in Washington, and I went on like Twitter and they verified it everywhere. So if I got, so did like 50 other news publications. But no one can find this guy's name. So maybe if anyone out there wants to update me on the Yakima, Washington madman that shoots at fridges, we can do an update down the road. But that's going to do it for Hard Factor. We got Pat's Stab Nelson coming out.
Stab Nelson, he's an activist, really. Brings the community together. He brought his Zippo and his brick into the Portland de-escalation training last month.
Did he
And,
learn anything? Did he learn a lot?
He sat through an hour and a half of learning how to de-escalate. Someone cried. Someone made a suggestion that hugging was you just gonna have to stay tuned. I'm
So if you
uploading
want-
it to the Patreon today.
If you want to see the wackos in Oregon,
Nice.
Portland, Oregon, that'll be on Patreon this week, and then
afternoon.
this afternoon. Then we have Green Room tomorrow, and a bunch of other stuff. Half Pack with Wes by I'd say what, Saturday.
This week. Yeah, end of the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. A lot of
Wow.
that's a lot of extra stuff.
Metal detectors.
That's a
coming
lot of
out, too.
extra stuff. Metal detectors within probably the next week by mid.
We got an interview in the tank too. We'll put out
Interview
soon.
coming out this weekend too with the politician. Holy shit! These are all on top of the regular shows.
Yeah.
Lots of content. Our TikTok is going through the roof. We're fastly approaching 10,000, and once we get to there, it's going to go to 100,000 pretty quickly. Followers. The 5-star reviews are coming in nicely. Please continue that. Grab a friend's phone and leave a 5-star review. Tell a friend about the show if you like it, and most importantly, have a great fucking day.